What's up, guys? Peter von Panda here. Hey, needed to move some stuff today, so I actually ended up renting this U-Haul cargo van, and I actually was pretty impressed by it. It's a Ford-based, it's a pretty typical workhorse cargo van here, but I just thought I'd quick show it to you because there's some stuff I love and hate about it. And the first thing I really love is actually that it's only 20 bucks, and it's a pretty nice size van. So if you needed to move stuff, for a lot of us, it's actually going to be the right size as opposed to getting a box truck. The key is it's not only just 20 bucks, but it's also mileage. So I think it's about 85 cents a mile from where I am. And so you've got to kind of factor that in. Plus you got to return it with whatever gas you've used. But a couple things I wanted to show you is that it's about the size of any regular van. And that actually makes it pretty easy to drive. The other thing I like about it is that it has kind of this long running board, and they have put on like skateboard tape here, so that actually makes it pretty easy to get in and out, even though there's a nice big step here and then some grip tape there. It might be actually a little bit tough. It's a little tough for me to want to grab this step as naturally as it is here, so it's actually easy to jump in. Inside we've got pretty much everything is standard Ford parts bin stuff. This steering wheel, I think you'll see in the focus and whatnot. The key has a remote on it. So you've got lock, unlock, and then locking the door. One thing that I do like is that this window has kind of a big cutout here, so it's actually really big. And the cool thing about it is it has a nice armrest, which is absolutely level with the armrest on the seat. So I can put my arm here, and it's really comfortable. Nice, easy grab handle where I want it. And so the fact that this window has this really low cut here makes it easy to see, especially in this kind of cargo van, because you're going to be relying on mirrors pretty much exclusively for being able to see things, because you don't have windows that you can see out of. Now, you actually do, even though I have this metal partition here, you actually can see all the way out. And so you do have a little bit of direct rearward visibility. But one of the things that I actually was worried about, especially considering this is much bigger than my Fiat 500, as you can see here, there's no screen, touch screen or otherwise, except for your small little analog screen there. So I was worried that there wasn't going to be a rear backup camera or audible exterior alerts when backing up. Now, even though it's no bigger than a van, it can be a little hard to see when you're not used to driving a large vehicle like this. That can be an issue. Now, the cool thing is it does have a rear camera, and so if I go ahead and shift it into reverse here, the camera pops up on the screen, and not only is it a pretty bright camera, even though it's hidden behind the glass there, it does come with trajectory. So if I crank over the wheel here, you can see the white lines are moving to give me trajectory, and that was actually really helpful getting out of the parking lot. Now, there is no reverse exterior audible warning like there are in the box trucks with the beep, 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 beep. I kind of do miss that. I don't like it intruding on and making noise while I'm trying to navigate, but it is pretty nice in case you have people who are just walking around behind you, not paying attention, or driving around. They can kind of get an audible warning that you can't see what's going on. The shifter is in a nice spot. It's actually soft touch plastic here, parts bin stuff, but it's up high, kind of like in a Porsche GT Carrera, but it's really easy to get to. There are, at least what I could count, are 4 cup holders. 1, 2, 3, and then a 4th for your passenger up there. There's also this little bin here. It's not wide enough for a cell phone, certainly not my iPhone, but it does have this rubberized lining, so I'm not sure if that's for change or something for tolls, but it is what it is. It's there. I actually thought it'd be nice if it were a phone and you could have it sitting up there running GPS or something like that. Because there is no head unit with a display, it does not come with GPS, which is a little bit strange in a truck that is obviously geared for delivery. I'm just assuming that's because you can get portable GPSs or use your phone, and that's what everyone's doing. The gauges here are very clear. This truck is pretty new, only 8,300 miles on it, and so I've had no problems with that. Even though the windshield is very large, I actually ran the windshield wiper fluid, and you've got these huge wipers, and they do clean off really well. And the last thing I would say about the front here is that the thing that I'm missing, but kind of helps, is that I would have thought there'd be like a a bigger flat pocket here for like clipboards and papers and things like that, but there isn't. You know, I mean, if I had a clipboard, I'd probably have to throw it on the floor. Now, it does have this big indentation up here on the top of the dashboard, so I'm guessing maybe you throw your clipboard in there. It's kind of beveled on the edge here, so even if it's big, I would assume it would hold in place. The only thing I don't really like about that, I'm glad it's here, especially when you're, you know, throwing work gloves or whatever you might have up there. But one thing I don't like about putting clipboards and paper up on the dash is that you get reflection in the glass, in the windshield, because, you know, white paper just reflects really well, and I hate having those dancing lights in front of your face. So let's go ahead and take a look at the back. You can see I like the big square shape of this, but you've got two doors here and a handle with this little over here to pull them open. Now they go open about a little more than 90 degrees, you can see there, but you can, because it's got a full like double hinge up here, you can unlock this by pulling these out and then pushing the door all the way to the side. And that's good if you're parked on a curb and you need these doors all the way open because, you know, maybe there's another car parked here, and so you want to have these doors out of the way. So you can actually do that on both doors here and unlock them from this retention clip and push the doors all the way against the outer walls of the van. As you can see, really big cavernous van. I think it says there's a sign there back there that says it's good for 3,750 pounds. So you absolutely can put a lot of stuff in here. Wood slats on the side. It does have quite a bit of road noise considering that it's just a tin can on the road, but you can strap things down, and it's really easy. You know, the stuff I had, some of the stuff was 6 feet wide and I had no problems getting in here. Some of the things had to be kind of angled up and really super simple to use. Now let's go over here to the side, and you have kind of your standard split van doors. This one opens this way, and then you have another handle here that opens this up, so you can get everything really that you need, I think, in two different ways. So nice step up here. Again, a running board with that skid tape, skateboard grip tape all the way, running the whole length of that, so you can jump up in here really easily and manipulate and tie everything down. So really impressed with this. So I mentioned driving this thing, and even though it's pretty big, one of the things that it's not bad is getting it around. Now it does have a manual and a drive mode, and I have overshot that drive mode many times, so I kind of push it back up here into regular D. And because it's just essentially a gutted van, you actually don't have to take the turns as wide as you do with the box trucks. It drives very much like a large SUV or a van if you've had it. Now you do have to take the turns a little bit wider than you would in a regular car, obviously, because you don't want to clip mailboxes and things like that. But in terms of being able to, you know, drive a vehicle like this without being intimidated, I think everyone could do it. The engine itself too is actually pretty peppy. So you know, I don't have anything in the van right this second, but in terms of getting it to move, it does move pretty quick. Now once you get another 3,700 pounds in here, I'm sure that's going to slow it down a bit, but I think the engine is very adequate for what it is. Now, I've also said that the road noise can be a little bad in here, and that's certainly not an exaggeration. And in fact, if it's a cold day today, so I've had the blower motor kind of at top speed to keep the cabin pretty warm. With that road noise and the noise that the environmental controls make, you can almost not hear the radio. I mean, you kind of have to crank up the radio to an uncomfortable level to hear it, and so I just actually turned it off, or it's not actually off, it's just kind of muted. But that's going to be one of the drawbacks if it's a really hot day and you've got the air conditioning running at full blast, or a really cold day like today and have the heat on at full blast. You're going to have lots of noises in here, and even so, I thought kind of the wind noise and the road noise was a little loud. In fact, I thought this window was cracked actually when I first picked up the vehicle, because you kind of get so much road noise. Now it's just kind of the nature of a vehicle like this. The other thing that I will say that I was impressed with the HVAC controls on is that it is a really cold day. I think it is 6 or 7 degrees outside. So even though it looks pretty clear, it is brutally cold out. Now I turned up the heat in this van, and you have a lot of volume in here to warm up. But I had no problems once I got the van up to temperature of having plenty of heat. It was very comfortable, and actually I could turn down the blower fan from 4 to 2 or 4 to 3 and still have it feeling really comfortable. I've actually had problems with my Fiat, even though it's a much smaller vehicle, of running my heater at full blast and just kind of keeping it warm enough on days like this to keep me warm. So the HVAC system in this vehicle is more than adequate, and I would think that on a hot day, if you're running the air conditioning at the top speed, it would also do a pretty good job of keeping the interior here pretty cool. UV for the few times that you might need a big truck, you know, U-Haul is the way to go. In fact, the one that I rented from is actually a convenience store that has U-Hauls available, so I don't even have to go very far, and you don't have to go to kind of find a typical U-Haul location like you would in the old days. So here it is, this U-Haul cargo van, Peter von Panda, out.